Hello everyone, welcome back to the new feature video of AB Suite 9.0 Windows Runtime. Let's move to our next topic, which is about scaling out an AB Suite application. By scaling out an AB Suite application, we mean adding more number of runtime servers where we can install same version of this application to handle more traffic to achieve high availability and performance improvement. Here we have all the features we have developed to support horizontal scaling of an AB Suite application. We will look at these features one by one. When we want to scale out an AB Suite application, generally we make clone of runtime servers. The clone runtime server will have same machine ID, which can cause machine ID conflicts while deploying AB Suite application. Therefore, you need to change the machine ID manually, making sure you use unique machine ID for each servers. To resolve this problem, we have introduced two new options. One is use machine name and the other is auto generate machine ID. When you select use machine name option, you need not to change the machine ID manually as deployment can uniquely identify this server by its machine name. This option also helps to easily identify this deployment server in database entries by its name. But in this case, if your application uses glp.unique, then it will use this same machine ID to generate transaction numbers. And therefore, you need to use unique machine ID in machine ID text field. Now see how the other option auto generate machine ID works. When you select auto generate machine ID option, it can automatically generate unique machine ID values for all the application instances on different runtime servers. This is how it helps in resolving machine ID conflict if same application is deployed on multiple servers talking to same database in distributed environment. This also eliminates the need to manually setting unique machine ID for each server. You can also select both of these options to uniquely identify your application servers by their machine names and also generate unique machine ID values for each application server. We have one more feature to support horizontal scaling in AB Suite application, that is the ability to set user-defined DB schema password during deployment. By default, our deployment process generates random password for database schema. Therefore, if we deploy our application on multiple servers connected to same database, they will have different database schema password and hence they won't be able to connect to database unless we manually update the same password on all the runtime servers. To solve this problem, we have introduced an option to provide DB schema password with these utilities. If you want to build and deploy, you can use DB schema password feature with Visual Studio Build and MS Build utility. And if you already have built MSI, you can provide DB schema password while deploying your application using runtime transfer or deploy package.exe. Now let's see how we can use these three features to scale out our application through the demonstration. In this demo, we will try to deploy our AB Suite application on two runtime servers which have same machine IDs. We will see how our new machine ID features and DB schema password feature works in this scenario. Let's deploy our AB Suite application first on this server 3300. Before doing that, we will check what is the value of the machine ID for this server. We have machine ID value set to 1 and auto generate machine ID option is also enabled. I have already created my DB server alias. Now we will create the runtime database. My database also created successfully. Let us enable the high availability value as well, as we are going to deploy the system on two multiple servers to achieve high availability. Now we can go ahead with the deployment using runtime transfer. Target server name, we will select localhost as we are deploying on the same server. DB server registration would be AGL4. Database is mksampledb. This is a new feature we have introduced to enter database schema password. If we leave this field blank, our deployment will create a random password for it, but we want to deploy this application on other server as well, so we want to use the same password there as well, so we will enter the password here. And we can enter application user detail to deploy our application. Yes, we have successfully deployed our application here. We will quickly check the system node is present. Okay. Now we will verify how it has created an entry in the database. We will go to the database. We maintain the deployment status in DBO underscore status table. If we go and check, we can find one entry for the deployment we have done just now. So it has a machine ID value 1. Okay, now we will go to our another server and try to deploy the same system there as well. I have logged in to my other server 3306. Here also we will deploy the same application. I have already created a DB server alias here. Here we want to attach the existing database. It will list out all the available databases on DB server. We will select that we want to use. It is successfully attached to the server as well. We will enable the high availability value. Yes, the important thing is we need to set the machine ID to same value, that is value 1, and have the auto generate machine ID option enabled before trying this deployment. Now we can try deploying the same application here as well. We need to enter all the required details here. Now on the second server also we can use the same password we have used on the previous server. So this eliminates the need to update the database schema password manually from admin tool after deployment on each server. We will enter user details for the deployment. Yes, our deployment process has begun. Yes, our system is successfully deployed on this server as well. Now we will check what entry it has created for this deployment. We will refresh this one. We can see, although we have used the machine ID value in one on both the servers, but we have the two different deployments entry in the database. To make sure these two entries are for two different systems, we will bring up our one of the system and see what the system status value changes in this table. So we can try configuring this system. Now our system is up and running. Now the system status value for one of the system should change to running state. We will refresh this query to get the latest status. Yes, you can see the entry 1 with the machine ID 1. Now the system status has changed to running state. We will try to bring up the other system as well. You could see we are able to bring up both the systems without changing the database schema password manually on the runtime servers. Now the other value should also come to running state. Yes. We will do a one more check to stop the system and see how the status value changes. Now the system is stopped, and if we refresh the value, you could see the one of the value for the system status has changed to stopped state. This is how we can use the auto generate machine ID option to deploy our application on different servers. Now let's understand how we can use machine name feature to deploy our application. Now to use machine name feature, we will select use machine name option and deploy our application on both the servers. Let's set the value to use machine name, and we will keep the machine ID value to v1 for this server. This server we will just enable HA and do the deployment. We will feed in all the required details. We will enter user details for deployment. Our deployment has started. Deployment is successful. We will see now this time how the database entry looks like. So this time you could see the machine ID value has the machine name as well in it. So this is how we are constructing the machine ID value when you select use machine name option. So we will be using machine name, and in parenthesis we will put the machine ID, what value we have in the machine ID text field. Now we will do the deployment on other server. We will keep the machine ID value to be 1 only. Here also we will enter the details. Now we have used the same machine ID as the value 1, and but we have selected use machine name option this time. This deployment is also successful. Now if we check what is the value for this deployment, we could see the other entry with the different machine 3306, but it also has the machine ID value 1 in the parenthesis. So but we are able to deploy two different systems, and we could see there are two entries in the database. This also we will verify by bringing up one of the system. So we could see I am starting the system on 3306 server. My system is configurable. The value for this server should change to running state. Yes, you could see the system has started. So this is how we can uniquely identify and we can deploy the two different systems using use machine name option only. If your application uses glb.unique, then while using use machine name, we recommend to use unique machine ID in machine ID text field, or use auto generate machine ID option with use machine name feature. So this will generate the unique machine ID in the parenthesis along with the machine names. We also have provided a feature where you can see the list of application servers where your application is deployed. You will find it at the database node properties. Here we have two tabs, one for TD and other for application servers. If you click on application servers, it will list all the application servers where your application is deployed. We also display the current status of application deployed on these application servers. In our demo, we have already seen how we can provide database schema password using runtime transfer. Similar to that, we have other utilities where also you can provide this DB schema password, like Visual Studio. We have introduced one more section at the down where if you want to use the custom database schema password, you can select this checkbox and enter your DB schema password. So this will be used for deployment. Similar to that, we have ms build command as well. There you can provide the password using the /p colon dsp option and provide the password. Here one thing to notice here is you can use encrypted password as well for dsp parameter. Similar to this, again we have one more utility, deploy package.exe. Here also you can provide database schema password with the parameter /dsp followed by the db schema password. So this concludes all the features to support horizontal scaling and AB Suite application. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you find it informative.